good morning, sunshines. Another Wednesday, another episode of On the Sunny Side. I am Princess Padesho, back again for another Chica. First of all, sunshines, shout out to each and every one of you watching this live right now. I hope you all are okay. And of course, starting your day with a smile, kay it's been quite an intense few weeks, especially after that earthquake that happened during our University Day celebration. No? I know that experience has left us with a strain both physically and emotionally. Kaya I wanna ask you, how have you coped or how are you coping with that kind of experience? You can drop your stories down below on the comment section. Well, speaking of university days, no, yes, our activities are still ongoing and we're also expecting our university nights this coming October 25. Exciting, right? Well, that is made possible by the efforts and dedication of our Executive Council. Kaya a huge shout out to our Executive President, Ms. Steph Kumba and her team. Now, as we celebrate Mental Health Week 2025, this year's theme, Steady Hearts and Minds in Shaky Times, is quite fitting gyud sa ato ang episode today. Kaya, without further ado, please help me welcome our guest, Miss Maria Luis F. Sindahan, Miss Marjorie Esamero, our guidance counselor, and of course, Dr. Joshua Paul Gamalio. Congratulations to Doc no, for topping top 9 Doc, diba?
Yeah.
The PFAP, sorry.
PFP.
Yes. Sorry, Doc.
Okay.
Okay, so to start off, how have you been personally after the recent earthquake and aftershocks?
Who would like to go first? Siguro ako lang muna, no? Okay, before I do answer your question, dear, no? So, hello, good morning, sunshines, and good morning to our Orient community, as well as to our Facebook Live viewers. Hello po sa inyong lahat. I hope you're all doing well because it's like a chilly morning for us,
Yes.
diba? Parang lamig sa labas. Pero let's try to keep this conversation warm. So, yes, after the earthquake, of course, I'm really grateful for our safety. Everyone is safe. And there were no reported serious injuries. Doc, wala ba?
Wala naman.
Wala naman. So, it's good, right? But there's still some minuscule amount of anxiety because aftershocks are ongoing. Di ba, maya't-maya, taod-taod na yung mga reports of the earthquake. But I'm really grateful that we are all safe for now.
Yeah.
How about you, ma'am?
Of course na pa siya gamay nga kabalaka na kay wala man gud ta kabalo when ang aftershocks na pod mahitabo. So usay ka nang maka-feel tag medyo more ni kuan na pod pero at sa ato na ditong back
Yes,
minds
true.
kay wala siguro wala pa ta na human sa katong shaking gyud more na pa atong mga kuan ato
Worries.
presence. Oo. So napaghappy gamay nga kabalaka.
For
How
Doc,
about
how
you,
about you,
Doc?
Doc?
Yeah. Personally, I'm doing good, man, sad. I think it comes from a position of experience. Since I'm working in the emergency room, most of the times chaotic. So, there's really, I think, murag the scene is not unknown. Yeah, it's not new anymore. So, I think, especially sa mga first liners, I think kanang na mga earthquakes, any typhoons, etc. No, I think it's really the experience that gives us the edge, no. Compared to those mga people, no, na murag, for example, students, no, maratol yun, no. So for us, it's really the composure, no? Because pag mapanik man god, no, for example, in the emergency room, that's why manamingon sila nganong chill raw kay mga doktor na may gitabang, no? Because it's contagious man god. When you are stressed out, it's really contagious, no, mas stressed ang uban. But when you are calm and composed, it also breeds composure. So kana lang, so far so good. Medyo na lang normal ra gyud na siyang medyo feeling nimo naglinog gyapon, naglihok-lihok gyapon. It's actually post-earthquake vertigo. So kana siya, it's because of the disbalance of your brain and your inner ear telling you nga na miscommunication. So murag nalihok lang gamay, feeling ni mo linog, but it's normal. Yeah. Pero personally, I'm doing good.
Next question is, what were your immediate thoughts or reaction during that moment?
Miss March.
That time kay I was in basic ed, kaya dapat yung mga activities. At first, like, nakain ko, ay, naglinog. Pero hinay, di ba, ito nga time kay hinay ra siya. So, naningid ko, kusog ba siya. So, the time na kusog siya, ang ako na da yung next na action is, mangita ko asa ko safe. So, gi-announce man pud nga, tanan is dapat sa field. So, nanggawas mi, and then, para safe, and ako pong gipang kuan hatak ang mga bata nga naapa sa kuan dapit sa mga kanang mga poste. So dito mi sa tanan sa field sumotoy ako more immediate nga action after during that earthquake. Ito siya. How about you?
Ikaw, Doc.
Doc.
Right. Ako personally, I was in the emergency room that time. Naglinog. Katawan kayo kay ang mga pasyente, nagipang oxygen, nandagan sa gawas. Murag mapay mga tabungonon. Nang gawas ba na gawas. Anyway, once ang namogi calamities like earthquakes, first thing good is the survival instinct. You always think of how you can survive the situation. So, but for me, mo to nagkalma raman sa duck cover hold good. And it's really kanang pag naay mga ingana, di gid malikayan nga you think of your family and loved ones. Mo to siya right after I called my loved ones, no, akong wife, akong family, no, how are they, asa sila nahita, asa to nga sila karon ang hitabo, okay ra ba sila, safe ra ba sila. So I think mo na siya what comes into my mind itong naglinog. So far, yeah, ang initial response sa tao mo dagan. Yeah,
Adrenaline,
wala siya.
mag-dok
Yeah,
na
that's
ba?
adrenaline rush.
Yes, I do agree. And that time, everyone's thinking about how to be safe, diba, in that kind of situation. It was a natural disaster, although expected nga earthquake, as we are geologically located in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Pero, you know, pag naabot na gid siya, or nahitabo na gid siya, during that, you only think of safety, diba? So, that time, napag ko sa office ato, and it was just some hours lang, or 1 hour lang from the recently conducted na memorial mass sa CB lobby. So, nangisnak pa ang mga tao ato, na mainit pa, ay nga, and I was in the office with other counselors, and then, una is kanang di ba murag kuan pa siya,
Slide
init
pa
pa siya,
shaking.
so dili siya makakause og panic kayo. Although kanang matikod jud ka, di ba? You have to be alert on nikusog naman gid siya. And then I remembered during the earthquake drills nga gikandak, so murag nagka-idea pug ko ata, and it was really great bitaw na kanang murag panangga pod nimo your preparedness when that time happened. So mo to siya dito din sa gawas dito sa open area, and it was in the CB mini park. And then pag adput po nako dito nga katong grabe na gid siya kauyog, daghan naman po nang adto dito. So I think it was also very helpful na naga-conduct gid ta regularly of earthquake drills and
Yes,
even fire drills, so that people and students, employees as well, will know what to do and where to go when that time comes. And I really commend sa katulong sa Morelos campus. I heard manggod sab na when the earthquake happened, ang mga bata gid pod kabalo na gid sila. Yes, the cover and hold, and then kuan gid sila ato sa field, and di ba, in fairness pa sa mga bata, ang kabalo pud sila. So preparedness is really your kuan.
Actually, it's really the preparedness. No?
Yes, I
It's
agree.
really important. By the way, speaking of natay earthquake drill, maybe this coming few weeks, no, in November. So it's very important to be prepared at all times, no, because you don't know when the earthquake will happen. No? Compared to typhoons, nga kabalota nga, like,
Yes,
there's
mapredict,
upcoming
yes.
typhoons. Para po sa fire, no, we don't really know when it will happen. So kana siya, actually, no, nindot sa toy mogingon nga preparedness gyud, no. We should be prepared kay it's actually the lack of knowledge ang uban. Labo na if maglinog mo dagan dito. Pero in the
Sa
protocol,
Pangulong
ang protocol gid ba kay duck, cover,
Cover
and
and
hold. Pag maglinog pa, mag-shake, no? That's for you to be protected from falling debris or na yung mga gubang nga structures, no? Pero ang instinct mong sa tao, because of the lack of knowledge, dagan.
dagan.
That's the fight and flight response, no? So, muna siya. So, it's better na to participate, no, sa atong preparedness na campaign in the coming few weeks.
Thankfully for that, Doc, no, wala jud po nag-stampede ang mga students.
Yeah.
Labi na ka university days,
Yes,
gid ko to nga
indeed.
time nga full of activities and whatnots. So, ma'am and everyone, why is it important to reflect on both our physical and emotional response after such events?
Reflection or reflecting on after such events happen, no, it will really help us reconnect with ourselves, assess ourselves, raise self-awareness, and doing that, we can, kanang murag, ato na din mag-gauge bitaw if what we need. Kung kana ba nga time is, do we need professional nga help? Can we do it by ourselves lang? Like kanang self-awareness, knowing what you really need at the moment. So it's really important. And knowing what we feel and identifying what we feel in that moment will help us kanang, let's say, will help us be kanang tawag more bitaw, you know what to do na next.
more aware.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what to do next na dayon. And it's quite actually a healthy coping mechanism, especially if you know what you really feel at the moment. So, you know what to do next.
Tama to ang ginyo ni Ma'am Maria, no? Like, kanang, ang experience mo good na to is like, it teach us or kanang a learning experience nga unsay sunod ay unsay atong buhaton if ever mahitabo na siya again. So naanatay importante nga i-reflect nato kung katong nga time is example ning dagan ka. So dili siya maayo nga or action pero do dili siya malikayan pero if we reflect from those actions is kanang kuha na to, ma-predict na to, or unsa ba na siya kanang malikaya na to kung unsay kanang mga dangers nga mahitabo or mas mas ma-prepare ta kung unsa pay atong mas maayo nga buhaton if kana siya is mahitabo na pud otro nga mga incident ana.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of reflections, kay ang earthquake manggod, it doesn't shake only the infrastructures, the surroundings, but it also shakes your peace and safety. No? So that's really one of the most important aspect during earthquakes. No? That's why we also have to reflect gid nga those times we have to be calm and prepared. No? Dapat dili maguna ang panic and nervousness because wala ganay mahitabo god if magpanic ka, magkuan ka. So your mind will be clouded when you panic. So mo na siya. And other thing, as a responder, first liner, so it's also good to reflect on the situation afterwards, what we did during the situation. Luckily mong god katong naglinog, di ba, university days, so walay klase. And also there are RCYs and Agilas nga mga naka-standby. No? How about if klase na walay RCY, walay kuan. So luckily for that time lang. Pero anyway, kana siya, it's also good to reflect nga we also have to improve, no? Kay of course, we also have to find also nga mga butang kung sa to among lack na himo, and also to accept feedbacks as well. That's part of the reflection.
Dok, going back sa mong giingon, Dok, how about sa kanang mga people bitaw nga, for me, I really, that moment really feels kanang blank yun bitaw. So I can't really remember much kung unsa akong nabuhat or anything. So what can you say about that, Dok? Is that reaction normal? Nga kanang wala jud kay madumduman ato kay of course kanang response man ginato nang magpanic di jud nato na malikihan, di ba, Dok? So what can you say about it?
Now, pag na emergency or calamity manggod, our body responses, natay gitawag adrenergic response. It's a fight flight response or a freeze response. So what happens manggod, fight or flight meaning mudagan ka. So that's a natural instinct, na mudagan ka when there's a fire, when there's earthquake, etc. So that's the first response. Katong when it comes to freezing, like what happened to you, kana siya nga response is actually part of the instinct sa nato nga response. Actually, it's self-preserving response no of the body. So, that makes you murag it's like your mind and body is telling you that it's safer to be here than to run.
Okay po.
That's why it's a defense mechanism nga mablangko ka, nga actually wala kay buhaton, ma-freeze ka. Actually, part of that is hyperventilation
Yes.
and panic and anxiety. That's why ma-freeze ka, your muscles defense, no, because your mind is telling you that don't go around, di ka modagan, dara ra ka because it's much safer here than running. So mo na siya.
Doc. Thank you, Doc Murag, na clear out good siya
Yeah.
for me kay unusual ba agad sa ato ang kanang ingana nga reaction or
Yeah.
maybe for me lang kay wala jud ko naka-encounter og a lot of people nga ingana og reaction. So Doc, for a medical perspective, what are the common physical reactions or symptoms people experience during a stressful event like an earthquake?
So, during stress man gud no, mo na siya atong mga hormones no will spike up, adrenergic hormones or atong mga adrenaline, no, epinephrine. So kana siya number one gud is ang panic, no. So when you say panic man gud, racing heartbeat, no, palpitations, deep shallow breathing, no, hyperventilation, paspas kay maghinga, no, lightheadedness or murag mablangko. So murag wala kay or yeah, lightheaded. The same time tremors or magkurog ang kamot, no. Ang uban maguot ang ginawa, that's shortness of breath, no. Dugot ang dugan, sakit ang dughan, tapos mamuypoy, no, murag walay kusog, no, sa body weakness. So those are mga physical murag symptoms, no, that usually happens during a calamity, aside from psychological symptoms, of course, no. Yeah.
So what first aid reminders or health measures should we observe immediately after an earthquake?
So speaking of after, no, so go back sa during earthquake, no. So during earthquake dapat duck cover hold yun. Actually there's really a dapat nagitay operational center, no, like the commanding officer nga mo sulti siya that the scene is safe already and ready to evacuate, no. So mo na siya first gyud guys, pag maglinog dili mo dagan, duck cover hold, no, until the shaking stops, no. Magulat gid ka nga dapat wala nay shaking, wala nay mulinog or gamay nga movement, no. And then ideally naagi dapat nay speaker, no, from or operation na mag-ingon nga it's safe already to evacuate. So mo na dito atong drill nga ginabuhat, no, nga mag-duck, mag-cover gyapon and going to the evacuation area, no. So first aid reminders man gud, kani man gud siyang first aid, it's not really simple because not everyone is trained, no, to do first aid. Actually in medicine we have a rule nga if you don't know how to do it, then don't do it at all. Meaning kung di ka kabalo, ayaw na lang buhata, no. So that's why we have first aid volunteers and also mga atong help, no, atong mga city disaster risk reduction management, no. So mo na sila ang first aid dapat na first aiders nato, no. So if you have medical problems, go to the nearest first aider, no, for you to be accommodated, no. Kay ang ato manggong situation ana kay first aider meaning first aider gid, no, we're not a hospital nga mutabang gid sa imo if ever na imo kuan. Now atong tulo ka trabaho is number one is to triage, no, tan-aw na to ang mga students, no, or patients who needs help, no. Number two, treatment, no, we treat those mga patients for example na hulugan og debris or nasamad, no. So mo na siya atong i-assess. Number three is transfer, no. We don't do heroic measures, no, sa first aid. Meaning di ta mag-insert og mga kanang dextrosan, hatag tambal, no, because it's first aid, no, meaning is to stabilize the patient or the student first. If need transport, then transport. So mo na siya number 3. Mo na siya mga first aid things nato. So again guys, if na ay concerns, syempre di ka mangutana sa dili kabalo, dito ka mangutana sa kabalo, no, mo na siya. So yeah.
So, Doc, what are the signs that someone may need medical attention following such events? even if they seem physically fine at first?
Um, that's a hard question, no? Labo na if there's no really symptoms. Pero actually, there's really a symptom, a good first na mabatian sa tao. No? Those are red flags, like chest pain or chest tightness. No? Labo na sa, not in our students kay they're low risk man kay they're still young. Pero atong employees na to and vulnerable groups, no? Like, for example, atong students nga who are pregnant or even atong mga employees who are mga senior citizens na or medyo idara na comorbids, na mga maintenance. So those mga patients na to, no, or mga tao usually get chest pain. No? Mana siya magmaratol manggod, no? So magsakit ang chest, no? It could be an impending nga heart attack sumbako. So kana siya, that's number 1. Number 2 is shortness of breath, lisod ginhawa, no? It's different from chest tightness or chest pain o kasakit ang dugan. Kana siya maglisod ginhawa, it feels like your chest is compressed, no? Or di ka kaginhawa. It could be from exacerbation of asthma. Labo na to itong mga students nga asthmatic, no? There are a lot of students, by the way, who are asthmatic, no? Na trigger during earthquake because number 1, because of stress and panic. Number 2, because of the debris, no? Kay maglinog, no? Pagtanan nabog, o mana siya, mana maglisod sila ginhawa. So actually, the shortness of breath is actually one of the concerns, no? That's why we have pulse ox, no? That's monitoring of the oxygen. Tanaw na to if they're still in the normal range, no? Other symptoms, halata naman dayon kanang for example, mahulugan imong tiil og debris, no? Makuan, maswollen, di ka kalakaw, there might be a fracture, no? Or strain or sprain. So anyway, not really much of an emergency. Kato lang mostly.
So, for ma'am, of course, kung question na po tayo ila ma'am, no? Murag si Doc.
Yeah.
Hapit na ni Doc na. Very insightful, good po.
Yeah,
Dagan
it
good po kag ma-learn, actually. So, ma'am, why do some people stay calm while others panic in the same situation?
Kasi nga, people react differently when it comes
true.
to stressful
Yes, true.
situations. But what we can help with that is the preparedness. So, magita atong murag panangga gyud when in times of crisis. So, going back, people react differently to certain kind of stressful situations. Naiuban nga paglinog gani, kabalo din sa kabuhat. So, murag it helps calm them down and know what to do next na dahil nang uban, even if kabalo na ka unsa ang imong dapat buhaton, mablangko ka, magpanik gihapon ka. So people really react differently to certain kinds of situations, and we can't blame them for having those kind of emotions during crisis, no? Panicking is not a sign of weakness, rather it is our bodily response to certain kind of threats, diba?
Yes. Yes, I agree with Ma'am Maria na sa iyang giingon nga kuan gid na siya ato ng mga normal reactions. And maybe ma-observe na to ang kanang uban nga dili kayo sila mo react because siguro na experience na nila before and mas worse ang ilahang na experience or kanang repeated na bitaw na siya nga panghitabo sa ilaha. So murag sa ila is murag na numb na sila inana sa panghitabo. So dili na kayo sila mo react or naagyapoy reaction but kanang if masink in na nila nga ay naka-experience na ko ani so murag wala na sila kayo reaction ana. Oo. Or ang uban ana is kanang na train sila per ni Doc nga naa sa frontliner, so murag prepare sila ana nga mga situation or na-encounter na nila or daily baka or naman ana, so mato siya.
I'd also like to add, if I may.
Yeah,
Pwede-
sure.
Take the floor, Doc.
Different people, different reactions. No? Some manggod really have more hyper-arousal symptoms. They react too much. No? Marag, bisan ganig, lang gamay lang, naglinog na. Marag makulbaan na dayon. No? That's part of the acute stress disorder or the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
No? Murag na trauma ba sa panghitabo. So actually it's important nga these guys atong mga ma'am nga if you have concerns, no, if it's still lingering you have to process it, no, para di siya mahimong unresolved trauma.
Yes.
No, Like sa atong, di ba, mauyab, di ba? Makuan, bulagan, di ba? Ano, wag unresolved trauma, o di ba? Non-trust issue. So same ra po na sa mga earthquakes, makuan. So it needs to be processed and you have to be healed para di na ka murag makuan if na another situation nga.
So guys, paminaw jud mo sa advice ni Doc, especially ka ng mga gibulagan ko, no? Of course, no, duol lang pud ta sa atong guidance counselor because they are always open. Their doors are always open for consultations ba ang right term, Doc? Or, Doc, sorry ma'am.
We do counseling.
Counseling
We do
po.
intake interviews so that we can know kung unsa nga steps among mabuhat for them. Kay first encounter nimo ba, like di man dayon ka mo ingon na sige nga ni dani mong tamba, di nga nimong buhaton. So imo pa man mag history taking pa kaana in the intake interview. And then if we assess na they need further counseling, then that's what we do. We do counseling.
So duol lang gid mo guys. So back to the topic. Questions day. So how can we practice emotional grounding or self-calming techniques po?
Okay, so timely and relevant yun, no? Kaya more siguro taga-experience of crisis nowadays. So what I will teach or what I will share to you guys is a breathing technique. So daghan tag breathing techniques, dili lang kay isa kanang deep breathing bitaw, but what we have or what I can share to you is called the box breathing. So you inhale for 4 counts, you hold it for 4 counts. You exhale for 4 counts and then you hold it for 4 counts before you inhale again. So that's box breathing. So pwede man siguro na ato ang buhaton diri guys.
I-demo daw na
Sige,
po,
para mas
sige.
masabtan.
So most importantly, if you feel safe na in a certain space, so keep grounded, make yourself relax, no? Put your palms on your lap and then we do breathing. So and then again 4 counts. In, hold, out, and then hold na pod. Okay? So, ready na? Ready na itong tanan?
Ready na. Abi kong
Practice pa ito siya, guys.
Sige,
Sige. So, in a calm manner. Okay? Let's do breathing exercise. 4 counts, inhale, please. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's what we do. That's
Right,
box
very good.
breathing.
Hindi na inyong buhaton.
Yeah.
Is earthquake.
Okay, but do it when you feel that you are in a safe space.
safe.
No? Kay lisod kay mag-ilog ang imong relaxation o imong panic. So dito nagguro ning buhatan kay first response man gyud ta na nato sa crisis, di ba, is to ensure our safety. So if okay na, we can do na dayon our calming techniques.
Okay.
And to add on po, no, kung i-share ni ma'am ang box breathing, ako pong i-share sa inyo ang belly breathing. So ano siya, you breathe in through your nose and then breathe out to your through your mouth. Pero ganana siya ka-simple. You inhale where you inhale ni mo ang positivity, then exhale through your mouth ang negativity. Or something na. So maka-relief ba siya sa heart, di ba?
Okay,
So ano na siya nga simple.
thank you so much, Ma'am, for adding sa atong breathing techniques. Another is grounding technique. So you can do this immediately after the crisis. Unlike the breathing technique na kanang magduha-duha pa ka kung buhaton nimo or dili. So sa grounding technique, it takes us away from the katong panic and all anxiety. So it will help us gain self-control, no, and be in the present. It's important that we realize that we are in the present. So getting ourselves, we can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. So you just
Through your
do
senses.
5 things. Yeah, it touches our senses. So it brings us back to reality and the present. So 5 things that you can see. So tanaw nimo ang trees, ang chairs, ang mga tao. Basta you can name 5 things that you can see.
Camera, ang mic.
Yeah, ang mic,
Lights.
ang sa padinhe. And then 4 things that you can touch. You can touch your clothes, you can touch your toes, your shoes. Basta pa, you can touch your chair, you can touch, basta 4 things that you can touch. 3 things dayon that you can smell. Okay. unsa ka imong ma-smell around?
Ang baho sa
Ang bahog
kuan.
singot. Bahog nagdinawa.
Wala,
Okay,
wala.
sige,
Okay,
dagan-dagan.
at katunga time baya kay sugod nagdula ang mga
Yeah.
tao kay nagtapok na. So, even if kanang mga kuan lang, simot lang na nagluto og chow fan.
Sige, linog.
Oo, mas ka naglinog,
Padayon gyapon,
ipadayon
bisluto.
gihapon. And then asa na top 5?
Three.
For
Two na
things
dayon,
that
no?
you can see, 4 things that you can
Touch.
touch, 3 things that you can smell, 2 things that you can hear. Pwede pod na. Okay, so unsa kay mong nadungogan nga time?
Shouting.
Shouting,
Shouting.
ana. Pero in fairness, no, katong nga time during the linog, akong nadungog yun is ang panawagin nila kang guard.
Tingali, ma'am.
Yeah.
Pinadyo to na viral nga driver nga.
Murag
Yawa, linog.
hala.
Ano dito siya?
Koan kanang yes kanang more contradicting ang pasahero gang driver contradicting ilang ibang istorya no. So thankfully pod no kanang murag napod ko'y nadungog kanang it was told to me by someone na kanang the crisis will not test your faith.
Yeah.
No. Kanang the crisis itself, it will strengthen your faith actually. 'Di ba? Mahibalan gyud na nimo kung kinsa ang panawgo nato. Pero dili ra man pud by in time so sadyang kato lang na time is kanang panic na gyud kayo mga tao. So
Desperate
murag
na.
wala na so unfiltered na gyud kung unsa na gyud ilang maistoryan. Mo na siya, we can't really blame them for that no kay murag mao na gyud na ilahang first response na lang dayon nila during that time. Okay, so 2 things that you can hear and then 1 thing that you can taste. Okay, so nagkaon ba ka candy ana nga time?
Or
So
imong
sa
laway,
lasa ana imong laway gitulon nimo. Naggikan ba ka nagkaon mga remnants sa imong mga gikaon sa ing ana. So it really will help us bring us back to the present. So that's how we can stay grounded during that
Yeah.
time.
Also to explain, no? That's why number 1 we need katong breathing techniques because when you panic, you tend to breathe fast and shallow.
Yes.
So mahitabo na sa lawas, you breathe more of the carbon dioxide. So what happens to your body, mo na siyang side effects, no?
Yes.
So mo mag-tingling sensation, imong lawas numb, you know. That's why it's important to breathe easily, no? Mo na siyang breathing techniques, no? To make you calm, to have the balance again sa imong carbon dioxide. Number 2, grounding techniques. To make yourself to be in the present.
Yes.
Okay, when you are in an adrenaline rush, you think of the future. You always think of the future. Mawa na mag-anxiety na, di ba? Kay because you think too much of the future.
Overthink na.
Overthink ka, what if matumbagan ko, what if maano ko. So, that's why you have to be in the present, at the moment, no?
Yes.
Kung unsa gi nasa reality nimo. It's the same thing as anxiety, no? What you can do now is more important, no? Than what you think of later. So, mo na siya.
So, moving on to our last question. What are small daily habits that can help us regain focus and peace of mind?
Right after that event, no, I would really advise, even if counseling, sa counseling, dili gyud na siya pwede mag-advise ka. So, kay processing man ta dinhi. But after such things happen, no, what I can advise to everyone is that you kanang murag minimize lang siguro ang doom scrolling nato because nowadays with how algorithm works in our social media, 'di ba? Pag once na magdugay ka ani nga balita, so i-feed na dayon sa imo is kanang
Balik-balik
similar
na
nga
mo.
balita and it will affect you mentally because tanan na mga
Scroll
deludyo
nimo.
na tanan na inga na and nowadays AI, fake news,
Yeah.
rampant na siya. So, you can't really know niyang uban, mang-recycle pag yun, mga nahitabo na sa una,
Sa una
ibalik
pa.
nila nga, mao daw ni
Mas
nahitabo
worse.
diring ani.
Yeah,
Ganyan na. So,
tsunami.
inga na si tsunami, gipangitan na. So, unsaon naman niya, di ba? So, maka-affect ito sa ato mentally. So, it's important that we minimize our interaction socially. Only trust na katong mga verified news outlets. Listen lang sa ato ang mga katong mga verified yun nato na mga news stations so that we can be updated. Ang pag-doom scrolling man good, it can really affect you negatively on how you think and how you perceive things at the moment.
Yeah, true.
And for me lang po, akong i-share is katong time after atong panghitabo is mindful listening, like kanang gapa-music ko para mas ma-relax ang mind. So, pwede pa na siya ninyo buhaton para dili mo mas mabother sa nahitabo or overthink sa unsa pay mahitabo. Or kanang time with the nature ba, na breathe, maka-breathe in ka with the nature. Ana, pwede sa daan siya ninyo buhaton after an event.
How about you, Doc? What can you say aside sa atong mga RPMs?
Sige. That's right, no. Also, kana lang good. You have to be mindful of yourself, no. Because you can't di na mo matagna ang linog.
Yeah.
No, di na mo matagna kano sa lately no murag na pattern, di ba murag alas 8, alas 9, murag na maglinog na alas 10, pero actually it doesn't have a pattern good, no. Naragid na timingan lang gid nga na orasa. So that's why kanang napo yung mga uban, no, na pag alas 8, alas 9 na di na sila mga tulog, di ba? Mga tug na sa sala kay alas 9 na dala na lang kay basta maglinog kay gabi daw. Manang we have to be mindful, no. What matters most is your peace, yun, imong mental health, no. Kay for example grabe na kay kaka clouded with those mga murag emotions nga panic ka, maglisod na ka og think kung say buhaton nga maayo if maglinog. So that's why kana siya ma-process.
So that ends our first segment for today, no? Thank you so much everyone for the advices, and hopefully our viewers will take that advices to heart kay it's not only applicable sa earthquake but to many things as well, di ba? Not just for calamities, especially katong calming techniques ninyo mga giteach, our breathing techniques, ganun. So viewers will be back after a short break. Hopefully, and drop your comments down below for following questions sa next na to naman na segment. So, Kuya Chard. Welcome back, everyone. Before we move on to our second segment, we'll be discussing the myth and facts, ma'am, no?
Yeah.
So, here, myth versus facts. Myth-busting series, emotional aftershocks, understanding mental health after an earthquake. So, myth number 1, others have it worse, I shouldn't complain. Fact, we may all be standing on the same trembling ground, but your feelings still count. Your feelings are valid, even if someone else is struggling too. It's okay to talk about what you're going through. You don't have to downplay your pain just because someone else is hurting.
Okay, so what I can say about this, it's definitely a myth that you believe others have it worse, so you shouldn't complain. So you're like minimizing. So we have this tendency nga, it's either we minimize things or we make it big. Like we make it big. Things that should have been small, ato siya padako, nya kato pong mga atong mga na feel dili pud nato i-downplay or dili pud nato ingnon na kanang mas worse man nilang na feel
So,
or
murag
mas worse silang
ma-invalidate.
nitabo, so murag ma-invalidate na imuhang na feel, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to practice for everyone, no. So recognize, it's important that we recognize our feelings so that we may be able to assess kung unsa ato ang need right after.
So, myth number 2, being scared or anxious during an earthquake means I'm weak. Fact, fear is a normal response to danger. Anxiety doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. Courage is feeling afraid and choosing to keep going anyway.
So sa atong na misgutan earlier nga normal lagi na sa ato ang respond nga natikahadlok after an earthquake or after an incident. So kana siya is dili na siya ingon nga tungod kay kanay mong na feel is weak na ka. So it's lang acknowledging your what you feel. So it's a courage nga na-acknowledge na nimo siya nga nahadlok ka. So kuan pa day kabalo pa day kumahadlok og naingon ani nga mga incidents. So inana siya.
So, moving on to myth number 3, I should always be calm. Panicking is bad. Fact, panic is a natural response to a crisis. What matters is what you do next. Breathe, ground yourself, and find safety. Emotions are visitors, they don't define who you are.
Okay, so it's important that we acknowledge what we feel at the moment, but it's more important that we process them and we don't let them linger, okay, for too long. Dira manggod ta murag maglisod kung ato as siyang pasagdan lang nato or atong i-avoid din nato i-suppress nato, so din ata mas maglisod na hinuon na process atong self. So if nice suppression mahitabo, so dili nato siya ma-process, so when an event happens again, so same responses lang gyapon all over again, and we don't want that to happen. No? We want to improve ourselves. We want to have healthy coping mechanisms to such things.
So, myth number 4, people don't need to talk about how they feel after the earthquake. They should just move on. Fact, just like aftershocks, emotions after a quake are real and need to be acknowledged. Talking about it helps you heal. The more we talk about our mental health, the safer and more supported our community becomes. Your voice can be someone's lifeline, a steady ground for those who feel shaken.
Doc, what do you want to do? You want to say something?
So, yeah, actually, it's really valid not to talk about it. Okay, it takes courage to talk about it, especially nowadays na sharing is a taboo. It's like a form of weakness. Pero actually, it takes a lot of courage and it takes wisdom and humility to acknowledge that you are vulnerable, no? That you are not super strong. Actually, it's really a sign of strength if you ask for help.
Myth number 5, if I ignore my stress, it will go away. Fact, unprocessed stress can build up and affect your health. It's better to acknowledge and manage it with healthy coping tools or support. Mental health needs attention just like physical wounds do.
So kanang if you ignore your stress is it will go away. So dili na siya tinuod. So dapat you acknowledge what you feel para mas ma-process nimo siya fully and makabalo ka unsaon na siya pag-solve para in the next incident nga mahitabo is kabalo na ka unsaon siya pag-respond.
Myth number 6, if I ask for help, people will think I'm not coping. Fact, asking for help is a form of strength. It shows self-awareness and a desire to heal, not failure. We all need help sometimes. Reaching out is brave.
And that's why we always encourage our community to, if you need some mental health processing or you need some help from us, then you can do so. Our doors are always open because reaching out, it's not a sign of weakness actually. So it's a strength, as what Doc have said, to acknowledge what we feel and that we need help.
Myth number 7, only professionals can help with mental health. Fact, you don't need to be a therapist or counselor to support someone. A listening ear, kind words, or a simple check-in can make a huge difference. You don't have to fix it, just being there helps.
Okay, so of course naman gid tay profession for such things na kung deep na gid kaayo or kanang they really need mental health intervention. So we're here as professionals. Doc here is also a professional that can help, but it's just a simple check-up, checking up with your family, with your friends. It helps naman release the tension that's happening, no? So knowing that they are safe, so murag makalas na pud baya siya og worry sa imuha, diba? If you know that how they are doing, just a simple check-in is quite a big help na actually for some people. So don't hesitate to reach out to your friends and family, and of course your loved ones.
Dito daw.
So, yes, don't hesitate. Sige guys.
So that's that for the myth versus facts. Now moving on to our second segment. So the first question is, how do our physical and mental states influence each other during and after crisis?
Okay, our mind and our body, murag mag-interconnected na sila always, no? So what our mind do, our body follows. So if makafeel kag panic, makafeel po ka og physical symptoms for panicking. Katong mamugnaw ka, magmungurog ka, di ba, Dok? Ingana. So na shortness of breath, ingana. So if you let that persist for such a time, it will affect you negatively physically, emotionally, mentally. So if kaya nato mag-reframe sa ato ang thoughts and emotions, then our behavior will also follow. So just try to look at the brighter side of things, no? Not to be too optimistic, kaya naman po tayo giingon nga false positivity bitaw, nga kanang kaya lagi na, okay na lagi na, pero dili na gyud di ay okay. So 'di ba, as I mentioned earlier, kay 'di ba dapat you are also able to acknowledge what you are feeling, miska negative emotions pata siya.
Oh, to add on lang na yung mga anxious thoughts nato no after an incident. So kana siya nga mga thoughts is mag-cause sa atong physical kuan nga kanang reaction nga di nataganahan mo kaon, di ba din na nga kuan after atong linog is kanang wala kay gana mo kaon, kaya na kay or maglabad imong ulo tungod kay grabe na imong pag-overthink ana. So na siya effect sa physical, and with that napud siya kanang nga problem is na siya respond nga kanang dili na pud ta tungod kay natay ina nga feeling maglisod na pud tag cope or kanang think critically bitaw. So apektuhan na pud unsay atong daily routines may nana.
So
Speaking of physical sad, no, on the physical aspect, there's really a mind-body connection, no, especially when you are overwhelmed by emotions. So there's a thing called psychosomatic symptoms. That means na for example, naglisod ginhawas kita mong dughan, although normal imong lungs, normal imong heart, but it's your mind telling you nga sakit siya because of you're overthinking it. No? It's psychosomatic. No? It doesn't mean that it's not real. You feel that the symptom, pero you're normal. No? Same with panic, di ba? Murag feeling nila mamatay na ako, pero kung ikaw doctor, ikaw first relax, dili ka mamatay, di ba? Wala siya.
So what simple steps can we take to strengthen both physical preparedness and emotional resilience?
What we can do is that keeping grounded and keep being informed on what to do. So we can also do some self-reflection, some journaling to really process what we feel during that time. So that at the time of crisis, it's not that intensive na ang ma-feel bitaw if sima ko mahitabo ko siya or maybe not kanang dili lang gid linugtan ng no, diba, there are many kinds of adversities that we come across in life, diba, pero how we react to it matters. So that's what we can do for now.
Or sa katong atong gikandagay ng mga breathing techniques, pwede pa na siya to stay grounded, or kanang simple thoughts or kanang kuan bitaw nimo sa imong mind nga everything will be fine, so more positive thoughts lang yun ang ikuan sa
Ang short self-affirmation.
affirmations. Yeah.
For me, sad, preparedness and knowledge is everything on those circumstances, no. Like for example, kamo mga students, no. when there's an exam, for example, that's a calamity for you. The
True.
best thing to do is to study
Yeah.
and to prepare for it. No, of course, to gain knowledge and also to apply. No, that's the same thing with calamity. Mas daghan kayo nabawaan, mas daghan kayo ma-apply. No, the more you have the chance to survive. Wala siya.
aware ka.
No? Kung estudyante sad ka nga, wala ra ka, no, kay pakialam, huwag ka maminaw sa maestro, maestra, huwag ka nagtuon. Of course, pag abot sa exam, alam mo na.
Kabalo na.
Maunang na top 9 si Doc, di ba? Tayo, di ba, nag-prepare yun
Nag-prepare yun.
siya.
Yeah.
Grabe yun, no? Like, Doc, dili lang connected na, pero is it normal to procrastinate, good? Or form of tinapulan lang good na siya, Doc?
It depends on the person. Pero, anyway, ang procrastination, pwede pa ba niya anyway, short lang.
Short
Ang
lang.
procrastination, man God, actually, mura siya ganang, your mind is telling you nga kaya pa. No? That's why mag-procrastinate ka. But of course, that's a habit, man God. That's a bad habit. Actually, it's correctable naman sad.
Okay. So, what services does the Guidance Center offer for those needing emotional support?
Okay, going back sa katong after the earthquake happened way back in maka way back no. so katong grabe na jud kadugay pero atong October 10 pagka afternoon we posted or we launched our online online appointment for counseling session. So few students and even employees have already signed up for it, and right after na-cater naman po na mo ang ilahan needs during ato nga time, no? So we also have our available counseling services, pwede individual or group counseling if you're more comfortable with doing it in a group, so we do that. And we also have our upcoming PFA sessions for our students, no? So kindly wait for our official announcement na lang po through our official channels, FSU Learn, and even in our Facebook page, so that if ready na, and then you can sign up so that you can join our PFA session. So diri sa mo amang yun is wala mang yun may pinugsanay yun.
Kung kisa gitong mas
yes, o
feeling
kanang murag sa para sa mo is kanang dili na mo gina-encourage kanang compulsory bitaw na pag-avail ani ng mga services kay people nowadays are able naman po to assess themselves if they do need it, diba? So like katong pag launch nam or pag-post nam sa mga online form namang gid po nang sign up, so kadto sila nanginahanglan gid sila to nga time, so matong sila mong una nga gi-cater, and now we are doing our best so that we can also accommodate everyone here na labo na nagbalik na ta sa face to face.
And to add on lang po, no, dito sa basic ed, kaya dito man ko sa basic ed na assign. We conduct mga asamang homeroom or HRGP na mo, or homeroom guidance program, focusing on the psychological first aid. So, na siya every week, every Monday. Pero as of now is exam pa man sila, so possible by Monday ma-start na ang HRGP.
So, what medical and health assistance can students and employees access through a medical dental office?
So, yeah, for the medical dental office, no, for the viewers, no, for our students and staff, no, the medical office, we are operating under Philippine Academy of Physician of School Health, no. So, number one is preventive health, no. We're there to promote health wellness, no. So, because prevention is always better than cure, no. Start kita sa students, no. So, for example, mga campaigns, no, symposiums, awareness, and also we cater consultations. No? Natin mga konsulta, no? Because pag magkonsulta ka sa doktor, taas kayong linya, napay bayad, di ba?
Bitaw do.
Dako pa yung bayad. So, dito sa atong clinic, it's part of our service. No? If you do have any medical concerns, just go there to the clinic for consultation. So number 2 is occupational safety and health. No? We want to assure our faculty and staff and also our students are always safe, sad, no? And also to be physically and mentally healthy. No? So that's why we also have mga what do you call this, wellness activities, no? By the way, if you're not informed about this, guys, natay Zumba day ha. Natay kabalo mo ano, wala.
Ay, murag
Anyway.
nakabantay ko ana nga post itong mga
Yeah.
last before you days to siya. Actually, gusto ta na mi mo kuan mo join pero wala mi nakadala og kanang
Gamit.
comfortable na pang-wow nga outfit. Kay was hindi ay i-post mi sa medical dental.
I-post gyud mo.
I-post gyud mi, diba? Sige
Yeah. Si
daw.
Ma'am Suzette, grabe na to ka active ana. So that's every week ha.
Okay.
So every week natay either Zumba activities, no? So natay mga Zumba, natay CrossFit or kanang HIIT nato, high intensity interval trainings, no? Di ba namatay gym? So
Yes.
kana siya. Napuntay ball games, no, yoga, etc. So kana siya. And we also have water aerobics. Di ba? Natay pool sa Morelos, no?
Yeah.
Digto taga water aerobics. So basically, it's Zumba in the water. Lingaw siya. Napuntay.
Required ka ba mo lang yan sa water aerobics daw? Kay
Dili,
murag
Roman,
wala ba ko
siguro,
ana nga
Roman.
life skill?
We actually hired good mga katong yung na certificates ba. Tapos it's not only for the employees, students are also welcome to join and we encourage you to join them as well, no. Number 3 nga service day last is health surveillance, no? For example tong COVID, di ba? Re-emerging and emerging diseases, no. So mga infectious disease o mga kana siya, no. Is our potable water safe for drinking? Kana siya nga mga, is our cafeteria selling healthy options? So, na siya. It's parts of our service as well. That's for medical. We also have dental, no? Napunta yung mga dentist always on duty, no? So, for our dental, of course, basic extraction, ibot, cleaning, temporary filling o pasta, no. Kung namo yung mga pastahanan, of course, mahal karon magpaibot pa pasta cleaning, no. So if you guys want to avail, just go to the clinic for your schedule, no. Also in the clinic, we are not emergency room ha. I just want to clarify the viewers and you guys nga dili mi emergency room, dili mi hospital, no. Kung appendicitis ka, i-refer ka na mo to hospital, di ka na mo operahan diha, no. Kay na mga misconceptions manggod nga unsa man ang clinic oy. We are clinic because of those things na for health promotion, dili mi na kay bukol, tanggalon na to bukol diha, mag-opera ta. It's not for those things. So kana no mag-dysmenorrhea, sikatian, kana mag basic lang. Yeah.
So, why is seeking help, both medical and psychological, an act of courage, not weakness?
Because as stated earlier, no, for some it's quite difficult for them to admit that they're experiencing these things, they're feeling these things. So reaching out is not actually a sign of weakness. Rather, it's a sign of courage because you're able to acknowledge that you're human and you also feel such things. And these are normal emotions. And if you don't think na normal na gid siya, so professionals are here to help you to process you, to help you, guide you through healing naman. So that's what we aim naman po din that we heal as one community.
Ilas one.
Mo-agree ako sa giingon ni mga nga courage gyud sa ato. Labi na sa katong mga tawo nga dili bitaw gyud ingon nga mo share gyud. So more mas prefer nila nga i-damdam na lang kung sa ilang or i-keep na lang, i-suppress ilang emotions. So para sa kuan is courage gyud na siya nga mo share ka, i-acknowledge nimo imong gibati or i-share nimo siya. Sharing is kuan biya gyud ganang basin ingnon kag weak, so more kuan na lang nimo nga dili nimo i-share, prefer na lang nimo nga dili i-share. So na it's a courage gyud nga i-show nimo imong gibati imong emotions.
How about you, Doc? Wala kayo masaya to, Doc.
Okay naman siguro to. I second the motion.
Okay, so ma'am, Doc, in one sentence, what does it mean for you to have a steady heart and mind in shaky times?
One sentence. Come on, Marge.
Siguro being able to continue your daily routine and is an act of kanang being grounded gihapon despite sa mga nahitabo.
Okay, so maybe what I can tell you guys is stay grounded. Grounded in a way.
Ano to? One sentence.
Kamo
Ay,
pa to.
kama.
Kamo pa to.
Grounded.
Kamo pa to siya. Sige, so stay grounded. Guard your minds as well as your hearts.
Yeah. Grabe. Ay.
What sentence na to, ha?
Dili na gid.
Dili na. Wala
Guard ang
na.
heart,
Kamo na to.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Ako short lang, pero explain lang na sa nako. Sige na
Ay,
short.
oy,
sentence.
oy.
May parang isa ka paragraph
Yes.
niya
Sige.
explain.
Strong body, strong mind.
Oh.
Di na ako explain mo na to. Yeah, pero
Sure.
what your mind thinks, your body follows.
Yes.
Okay, so that ends our second segment for today, no? Thank you so much, Doc and Ma'ams, for your time and for being here. It was very knowledgeable, good, and insightful discussion. So, dili lang ako nag-learn. Hopefully, ang viewers pod. So, that's it for today's episode. Bye-bye, Sunnies.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Amping.